All right, I'd like to call our Finance and Audit meeting for October 6th to order at 8:30 a.m. We have all members present except for Mr. Wilbeck. We have minutes for approval. I'll entertain a motion. Oh, not in packet.
No.
We still don't have it.
She'll finish them up so she gets.
Hey, we got no minutes, so that's great. Okay, public comments. This is your only opportunity.
No.
Okay, member comments. Yes, Lori.
Maybe we're going to get, I'm sure we're going to get to these things, but I just wanted to express, I'm struggling a little bit about our shift in ARPA, particularly related to the community funding that we were providing and had designated, and I'm sorry, I don't have any prepared comments for that. I just need to express that perhaps we'll talk a little bit more about that, because I'm struggling a little bit with the shift that we've made. And potentially not funding community programs that have applied and were eligible and even met the standards. The other item, again, we might get to this, I'm a little confused. After the budget meeting last week, I thought we were going to be seeing a resolution today with the five recommendations, and it's not in the packet, so maybe I misunderstood that as well. So just wanted to express that, and maybe we'll get to that a little bit later. Thanks.
Any other comments? No? Okay. So we're on to routine consent agenda. Item 7.8, I'm going to remove. I was told that this is no longer needed, so I'm just removing it, and then we'll get rid of it. So that's a scoop with that. Are there other items to be removed?
I do, but my computer's booting up. What? Go ahead.
7.6 and 7.7?
7.13.
I got you.
13?
Okay.
Which ones?
7.13.
Huh? You just pulled 13. Others? Tom?
7.21,
21?
34, and 35.
34, 35.
And is the ordinance part of the consent agenda? 7.6?
7.6 and 7.7.
Yes. Do you want those pulled?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I assume we're going to pull those, so that's fine.
3, just because I have to abstain from it, and then 8, please.
So which 3?
Oh, 7.3.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
7.3 and you have 6, so 7.8 is in.
8 was ready.
Okay.
Well, 7, 8, we're just getting rid of.
Scrappy.
That's what I just said. Okay.
Sorry. My
That's
computer
okay.
is booting up and I'm.
That's all right.
And if I could add, I need to abstain to 7.3 and 7.4. So I don't know if we have to, I know she
Yeah,
pulled
we-
7.3
yes,
already, so
yep.
we'll pull 7.4.
Any others? So the ones I have pulled are 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 13, 21, 34, and 35. Any others? Okay, so if not, then I'll entertain a motion to approve all items except for 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 13, 21, 34, and 35. Steve makes that motion, Kelly seconds that motion. Tom? We're voting?
Yes.
Carlos?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Myself? Yes? Okay, so those all are done. So if you're here for all those, you can not sit around for a while. 7.3, I'll entertain a motion. Carlos and Steve, do you have any discussion on it, or you just need to?
Just abstain.
Okay. All right, so we'll go to vote then. Carlos?
Yes.
Lori?
Abstain.
Steve?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Kelly?
Abstain.
Larry?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Okay, motion carries. All right, we're on to item 7.4. I'll entertain a motion. Steve makes a motion, Lori seconds a
Oh,
motion.
Can I? I have to abstain, sorry.
Well, you can.
Oh, okay.
You're just
You still
moving
can
it.
make it, Janet.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other discussion? Okay. Lori?
Abstain.
Steve?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Carlos?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Okay, motion carries. Can we leave the two budget ones to the end? Is that okay with everybody? And so
Okay with me.
get rid of these other ones?
Sure.
All right, so item 7.8, I'll move to table indefinitely, 7.8.
Second.
Lori seconds that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Can I ask a question on that? Is that because it's?
It's no longer needed, we were told.
Okay.
So they don't need it, so they're getting rid of it. Okay, we're on to 7.13. I'll entertain a
Bless you.
motion.
Oh, it's in there.
Kelly? Jeff seconds. Larry, you pulled this one.
Yeah, I was curious, did this go to any other committees? Or-
Yeah, it went to Administrative Services yesterday.
And what happened there?
There was no questions about it. We are prepared to talk about it, but yeah, it was not pulled from the consent agenda yesterday.
Okay. So, the sheriff ran on the idea that he wasn't gonna participate in the retirement fund. Is that correct? And yet.
I don't actually remember all the things he
Okay.
ran on, but the issue came up, when he was looking at retirement options. There's no policy that addresses individuals that are not participating in IMRF, and he was not told that by not participating, he would be ineligible for retirement insurance. And at the time, I'm assuming that that's because all other elected officials have always participated. He was the first one that didn't. So I feel like that kind of fell through the cracks during that time, and I feel that the county should have informed him, when not taking on a benefit, what the consequence of that would be.
Okay.
It's a pretty unique situation.
Yes.
I will grant this. I have no idea what the sheriff was communicated in December of 2014. It's very easy to believe that this information wasn't shared with him. He made the decision not to participate in the sheriff's law enforcement pension, and that has saved the county a lot of money. I appreciate that this has been raised now. We'll make it very clear to elected officials making the decision not to participate in the pension that has the effect of negating their ability to participate in health insurance.
And I understand it was an unforeseen consequence, but I'm not sure that the general taxpayer wants to subsidize the sheriff's retirement. Well, and nothing against the sheriff. That's all.
Any others? Okay, then we'll go to vote then. Steve?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Larry?
No.
Tom?
Yes.
Carlos?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Okay, motion carries. We're on to item 21. I'll entertain a motion. Steve? Jeff, seconds. Tom?
Yeah, you can put 21, 34, and 35 together. It's all the RFQ process, which I've talked about before in the past. So I'll be voting no on those three.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, we'll go to vote then. Jeff?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Tom?
No.
Carlos?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Okay, motion carries. So then, do you want to take 34 and 35 together, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'll entertain a motion for items 34 and 35. Steve makes a motion. Larry seconds the motion. Any other discussion, Tom? Tom? Any other discussion on those?
Same comment.
Okay, all right. We'll go to vote then. Kelly?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Tom?
No.
Carlos?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Okay, motion carries. All right, that brings us back to items 7.6 and 7.7. Do you guys want to do these together, or do you want them separated?
Together.
Together? Okay. So I'll entertain a motion for items 7.6 and 7.7.
So moved.
Larry moves, Steve seconds. Okay, so Carrie, or I don't know who wants to, Kevin,
So the first item related to the budget ordinance, and I don't know if we're gonna have the discussion together or.
Yep,
separate.
they're both in the same
So,
motion, so.
The ordinance right now incorporates what was discussed during the budget review and what the recommendations were, with a few updates. So on the levy side, the ordinance, and for both ordinances, include the originally we proposed 1.1 million out of CPI, out of the potential 4 million. We reduced that down to 990,000, and then we kept the new growth at 500, and then the other items didn't change. With Valley High, that number, we're gonna work with Tom, and we're gonna meet with him to outline kind of what the charges are going to be, and how we're gonna account for that. But that's also included in that budget ordinance as it's presented right now. If there are any changes between now and when it goes up for review, then we'll notify the committee. As it was requested during the review meeting, we provided the 10-year history of revenues and expenses yesterday, and I can pull them up if we need to go through those. But I understand your concern, Mr. Thorson, about the growth that is forecasted versus what's actually happened. Once you start forecasting year 3, year 4, at that point you're just taking your best guess, and so again, this is more for an educated decision-making process right now, rather than using that data to make it seem like it's an actual it's an actual proposal or proposed budget at this point. So that's included as is presented in the ordinance with the levy revenue as proposed. That's all balanced, so that covers the deficit in the general fund. It covers all the supplemental requests that were shared with the board on the 29th, and all the ones that after we met with departments and we went through them, that we were able to come up with a plan for those that are not necessarily a priority one. So that's what's in front of you right now. I'm not sure if there's any questions we shared.
I would add, Lori, you asked about ARPA.
Mm-hmm.
We got 1.4 million in here from, shifted from the Advanced McHenry County plan. We kind of have been working with the understanding and direction from this committee that we're really kind of tabling Advanced McHenry County until we get to December, get through this. So if ultimately there was a decision to, if we're going to use Advanced McHenry County money, then if we're suggesting 1.4 million, we can finalize where from that Advanced McHenry County money it comes from. If you'd rather not take it from the community side, we take it from the county side, but that's going to come at some expense of a county project. But we can have those discussions at a later date.
Well, and just to with the community projects that were submitted and qualified, those, even if we chose all of them, we would still be okay. it would be the water projects that wouldn't, well, we don't have enough money for all the water projects anyways, but that would, I would recommend that would be where we would take them from, would not be the community ones, but the subset of that, which was the water situations.
But
Yes.
on that note, I know specifically one of those water projects is to help a lower income community. So I have, that's a discussion for another time, but I just want you to be aware,
Yeah.
it's not just a sewer project, it is helping the low income community connect to the sewer project.
Yeah, again, I'm not trying to
I
pass
know.
judgment, I'm just,
Yeah.
you know.
I just wanna make people aware.
I had lunch with a dozen city managers earlier this week and addressed this, and I said, because several of them have applications in for water sewer, and I just shared that we got more applications than we have money, and we're gonna have to make some decisions about, not only are the projects qualified, but then we have to raise another level bar, you know, of where are we having the most impact, where's the most need, you know, how are we affecting the most people with the dollars? And there seems to be an understanding and an acceptance of the pace that we're working at and the challenges that you guys have.
So the applications that were in the queue, have they been communicated with, that they're tabled, that they're declined? I mean, I'm hearing from social service agencies in the community that they've received denials with no additional information. So I guess I'm just wondering if they're tabled or denied until a future date, or just
Yeah.
how that's being
Those-
communicated out.
The organizations that score, below the threshold that we
that
have
is-
established,
Mm-hmm.
they already received communication that, that their application was reviewed and, they didn't meet all the different qualifications.
Okay.
And so there was a standard email that was sent out.
Okay.
Normally with that email, there's no additional details that it's sent out or anything. It's on them to request that information from us, and so
okay.
a few of them have requested it, and we provide that information.
Great.
So the review and all that. For those that, those that are pending, whether it was, social services, not-for-profit, or the water and sewer project, because no decision has been made on those, a very generic email was sent out saying that there was a discussion at the Finance and Audit Committee, and the decision was to put those on hold, and that more likely than not, the decision will be made after the budget process is completed in January, I think is what the month that we told them when we would follow up with them. And they still have the ability, the option to request, any evaluation criteria that we went through and request that information as well. And I know Stephen has met with a few of them already, just kind of explain what that process was. So.
Great. Well, I will certainly, and if anybody shares anything with me, I will refer them, and already actually have referred them to your department to seek additional information. So I just was wanting to make sure I understood what happened with those applications.
And that communication has gone out. So, yeah.
Awesome, great, I appreciate that. And then I had another question just about ARPA, and you all know I'm Board of Health liaison, and I support the Board of Health and the Department of Health and the work that they do. I guess I'm confused a little bit in that placeholder that we had for the Health Department, and whether or not that's been identified, and if those funds are county funds that maybe if they're not being designated for the Health Department, have they already been designated somewhere else? And how does that fall into, ARPA funds from community versus ARPA funds from the county?
It's on the county side, and it's staying on the county side. I will tell you, we put a proverbial fence around $7.5 million.
Right.
And the health department has not identified $7.5 million worth of expenses. So
Right.
I think that's positive in the sense of what we're going to have available to make future decisions. They know we're on pause, and they're using that pause as well. They've got their own, but there was an initial list of asks that was approaching $4.5 million, suggesting that there is going to be some other dollars available. But the Board of Health is also exploring some other ways that they might like to use that $3 million to implement the targets of that I-plan that we talked about. So
Right.
that's for future discussion, you know, again, it's a good problem to have, but we're gonna have $3 million probably looking for a home.
And to answer your question, that 7.5 is within the county side restricted. We have, it's still there, it hasn't been allocated to any other project as part of that.
Okay, great. And then I have one more question, with all the vulnerability in the world. Am I missing in the ordinances where it identifies these 5 recommendations, or? Woo!
Yeah, no, it's just part of the overall, since the ordinance, for example, the budget ordinance just has the total amount of the budget that's incorporated in that total amount.
Okay,
Once if you were to, and I have to say this, but if you were to go to the
Quest
Quest
okay,
dashboard, and
okay,
you can see
yeah.
the line items have been updated, and Carrie has done a fantastic job with that.
Yeah.
And so it's already up and running on the website.
Okay,
Let's
okay.
recap. It's
Yeah.
$500,000 from Valley High, $1.4 million from Advanced McHenry County, $500,000 from new growth, and $990,000 from allowable CPI. Saying that out loud, make sure I
Yeah.
got it right.
One more time?
And, and $500,000 from vacancies.
From ARPA?
Yeah, can you say it one more?
1.4 million now, instead of 1.5?
It's 1.5.
It is, oh, I think I thought you said 1.4.
Okay, well, you're rounding, so.
Yeah, I know, and I have got in trouble for that before. But
That's all right.
But the numbers that are on Questica are the ones that are, but they are, you know, again, rounded up to what we just talked about.
Well, and the project itself, again, we don't know the exact numbers of that, so
Right.
those are estimates based on what we believe, so that's gonna.
And I know there was a question about what other projects, you know, can qualify under ARPA, and right now, the ones that we are looking into are more IT related, and the question is whether those would qualify because they're more subscription based, so, you know, Microsoft and all that, so we're still looking into that, but, so all of our projects that we included originally were under revenue loss, which doesn't have a lot of restrictions or regulations related to how, as long as the project is for general government services, it qualifies, but that amount, obviously, it's, we already exhausted all the revenue loss that we have, so now any project that we bring forward has to directly qualify under the US Treasury guidelines, so that's why it's a little bit more of a tricky situation, so, but we're still looking into that as an option.
Kelly?
So I'm looking at the supplemental requests that are included in the budget, and I have a question about the last one for the replacing 6 ballistic shields. So when we looked at all of these, most of these, they were mandated by the state, the changes, so the employees and some, like, and obviously the coroner, some of that has to be done. I'm just wondering why this is included in with the mandatory expenses.
That's more, it's not necessarily as an unfunded mandate, it's more of a, and Sandy can probably cover a little bit more of that, but it's more of a necessary operational expense that's needed. But Sandy's here.
So they expire, so every 5 years we have to replace them, and since it's not part, we don't replace them every year, it's not considered maintenance budget, so we have to put it as a supplemental.
Is this the thing that's been in the supplemental for a few years, or is that something else that was,
So-
it was body armor or something before?
So that was the,
Is it best?
it wasn't best, it was, during the protests, we put in gear for that, that the committee didn't pass, but the shields, they have to have. So whether they're, entering somewhere that they know that they're gonna have, an encounter, that's what I say, but, so we, not everybody has a shield. This is for our SWAT team and our supervisors that, so at least the front 2 or 3 people have shields. And they're on every shift.
Do you have anything else, Kelly?
Can I just, Peter, can you say those once more for the sake of
Yeah.
repetition?
Bear in mind, I said them wrong.
Okay, well.
It was $500,000 from Valley High
Uh-huh,
County, 1.5 million from Advanced McHenry County,
Yep.
$500,000 from allowable new growth,
Mm-hmm.
990,000 from allowable CPI growth, and 500,000 from additional employee vacancies that were anticipated.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Also have to mark
Maureen?
the screen now. Should have done that from the beginning.
Just that one.
Just Robin's.
I'm sorry, Kevin, what?
Oh, that's up
Sorry.
on the screen and I should have had.
Oh,
thanks. Okay,
Yeah.
yep, and I've got my PowerPoint with all kinds of scribbles, but thank you. I'm done,
Okay, that's
Chair.
fine. Other questions from members?
I just have a statement. I'm having a hard time with taking CPI. So I'm going to vote to pass it so it can go to the board as a greater discussion. And then we can discuss it at the board. It's bigger than just the finance committee if we're going to take CPI.
Anything else? All right, we'll go to vote. And so this, again, this is on 7.6 and 7.7. Larry?
Yes.
Tom?
No.
Carlos?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Jeff?
No.
Kelly?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Okay, motion carries. All right, we don't have anything for Advanced McHenry County, so we're on the reports. Kevin?
The only one item that I have is that, so next month, my plan is to bring forward a report of all the COVID-19 expenses since the whole pandemic started. We're getting good information from FEMA as far as where our reimbursements are going to come in at. So we want to show or present, what expenditures were covered under CURE, so the original CARES Act money, what expenses were covered under the ARPA dollars, and any other grants that have come in. So we'll have that ready for next month, and that's one of the reasons why we haven't presented any contingency reports, because that line item has been used to clear all these expenses over the last 3 years. So any information that we presented without knowing whether it was going to be reimbursed through FEMA or through CARES or through ARPA, that information was going to change anyway. So that's pretty much the only update that I have that's coming. It's more of an item that's coming forward next month. So. Okay.
Anyone have questions for Kevin? Contingency, nothing. EDC, we have the annual dinner coming up on November 8th?
First.
First, yes, it was changed, I'm sorry. Oh, look at that. Lori's holding up the,
Vanna?
so hopefully y'all can go, and the speaker is a dynamic speaker. Does it have a speaker on there?
I don't know. There's a picture of a gentleman in a plaid sports coat.
No, that's last year's speaker.
Okay.
That was from Scott Forge.
Ah.
Okay. Natural McHenry County?
Nothing to report, sir.
Okay. Well, hey, I guess we have an executive session according to Pete. So I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session for negotiations. Steve makes a motion, Lori seconds that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
This is a lot faster than I thought this meeting was going to be.
Yeah.
open session.
So moved.
Larry makes a motion, Steve seconds that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All the committee members are present. We have nothing else on the agenda, so I'll make a motion to adjourn, or I'll entertain a motion at 9:34. Kelly and Larry, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, committee.
Thank you.
Pete, well, this is gonna be a short one. It'll be really easy, don't worry about it.
It was.
It was pretty short.
The first part of the meeting was shorter.
We could be here till 11:30 or something.
Yeah.